Ha-Aretz literally means the land. This is a common way to refer to the land of Israel in Hebrew, simply the land. No further explanation is needed. See, Israel is not just any other land, it is the land. The land which God promised Abraham and his descendant, the land which he led the Israelites to after 400 years of slavery in Egypt, the land which he commanded Joshua to fight for, the land where his temple stood and his glory dwelt in, the land in which Yeshua, Jesus, walked in, and the land to which he will be returning very soon. It is not just any land, and the enemy of our souls knows that. This is where the final battle will take place, and where the Lord will defeat all of Israel's enemies. The land and the people of Israel are connected. It is God who took us out of the land, and it was God who also brought us back. He brought us back to the land in order to set the stage for the rest of end-time prophecies to be fulfilled. His return is very near. Are you ready? To learn more about end-time prophecy and Yeshua's return, write to us. Verses of promises about the land. Promise to Abraham, Genesis 12, 1-3. Now the Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you, and I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." Promised to his descendants when it was still occupied, Genesis 12, 6-7. Abram passed through the land to the place at Shechem, to the oak of Moreh. At that time the Canaanites were in the land. Then the Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give this land." So he built there an altar to the Lord who had appeared to him, promised to the seed of Isaac, Genesis 17, 18-20. And Abraham said to God, "Oh, that Ishmael might live before you." God said, "No, but Sarah your wife shall bear you a son, and you shall call his name Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant for his offspring after him." Genesis 21:12. For through Isaac shall your offspring be named. Promise of land reiterated to Isaac, Genesis 26:3. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with you and will bless you, for to you and to your offspring I will give all these lands, and I will establish the oath that I swore to Abraham your father. Promise of land reiterated to Jacob, Genesis 28:13. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, "I am the Lord, the God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie I will give to you, and to your offspring." Promise to regather Israel from the nations back to Israel, Ezekiel 11:17. Therefore say, "Thus says the Lord God, I will gather you from the peoples, and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel." Ezekiel 28:25. Thus says the Lord God, "When I gather the house of Israel from the peoples among whom they are scattered, and manifest my holiness in them in the sight of the nations, then they shall dwell in their own land that I gave to my servant Jacob." Ezekiel 36:24. I will take you from the nations and gather you from all the countries and bring you into your own land. Ezekiel 37:21. Then say to them, "Thus says the Lord God, Behold, I will take the people of Israel from the nations among which they have gone, and will gather them from all around, and bring them to their own land." Ezekiel 39:28. Then they shall know that I am the Lord their God, because I sent them into exile among the nations, and then assembled them into their own land. I will leave none of them remaining among the nations anymore. Jeremiah 29:14. I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and I will restore your fortunes and gather you from all the nations and all the places where I have driven you, declares the Lord, and I will bring you back to the place from which I sent you into exile. Isaiah 11:11-12. In that day the Lord will extend his hand yet a second time to recover the remnant that remains of his people, from Assyria, from Egypt, from Pathros, from Cush, from Elam, from Shinar, from Hamath, and from the coastlands of the sea. He will raise a signal for the nations, and will assemble the banished of Israel, and gather the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Promise that the time of regathering back to the land will be the time of sanctification. Ezekiel 39:27. When I have brought them back from the peoples and gathered them from their enemies' lands, and through them have vindicated my holiness in the sight of many nations. Promise of God's protection over Israel, Jeremiah 31:10. Hear the word of the Lord, O nations, and declare it in the coastlands far away. Say, He who scattered Israel will gather him, and will keep him as a shepherd keeps his flock. Zechariah 2:8. For thus said the Lord of hosts, after his glory sent me to the nations who plundered you, for he who touches you touches the apple of his eye. Isaiah 46:4b. Even to your old age I am he, and to gray hairs I will carry you. I have made, and I will bear. I will carry, and will save. Psalms 121:4-5. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade on your right hand.